All right, guys, today we're just doing a simple brisket trim, nothing fancy. What we've got here is about a 17-pound, beautiful USDA prime brisket. This is a whole packer. We've got the flat, the point, all the fat in between. Today, we're just gonna simply trim it up a little bit. So the knife I'm working with is just my simple little Gerber fillet knife I use for just about everything, man. I love it. Give it a couple little swipes just to keep it honed and sharp. Okay, we just open this bad boy up. I like to have a couple paper towels on hand just to collect all these juices. All right. So what we typically start with is the flat side. There's a little bit of fat up here, and we'll take care of some of this, not all of it. I'm not going to trim it up real heavily like I would if I was, either in a competition or a restaurant line cook, anything like that. But we do want to get this hard fat off. When you get into this, you can just see that that is just a big, thick, hard chunk of fat, and that just simply won't render down. Doesn't matter how low and how slow and how long, doesn't matter, it will not render down. So I'm just gonna take my knife, get in here, and start slicing away at this bad boy. See that right there? We did get a little meat. I'm not too worried about that. This will go in my my bag for burger trimmings. Got a little bit of fat still in there. Work it nice and easy. Okay. This fat runs all underneath between the point and the flat. We'll get into that in a little bit. So after I've got that mostly trimmed out, I can't go too deep. I don't want to start spelunking over here. What we want to do is address some of this fat on the top. Okay, so some of this fat up here, I'm not worried about picking this thing, trimming it up super clean. This is just gonna go on the smoker in the backyard. We've got some of my wife's work friends coming over. I want it to be good. I want to impress them. I want everybody to have a good cut of meat, and I want it to be, I'm still trying to perfect my own skills, but at the same time, I don't work in a restaurant. I'm not a line chef, I'm not a competition, pit master or anything like that. So I'm not too worried about getting this thing perfectly trimmed up. I do want to get some of this fat off though, because I want my seasoning to get on the meat, right? So I see some of this stuff right here. I'm just gonna nice and easy, just get this fillet knife in here. Just like that. All goes in the scrap pile, the burger grind pile. Okay. See, some of this stuff is hard right here. This stuff over here, some of this is pretty smooth, some of it's not. See, that's all nice and smooth. I like these jagged pieces here. A little hardened right there. I'm gonna go ahead and get that out of there. That's good enough for me for the underside, for the flat side. So something else I want to take care of while we got the meat side up or the flat side up is this edge right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just cut with my knife, try to get a nice straight line all the way down. So a lot of this is the fat. We're gonna come away with some meat, and that's okay. All right, nice clean edge. I'm gonna take and some of this. Okay, there we go. Oh, a little bit right there, we want to take that off. Okay, all right, there we go. Nice fresh cut, nice smooth line, no crazy geometry. Another thing we want to look at is the bottom end of this flat. So you can see this side here is really thick. We've got about 2 inches, of meat right there and fat. But then as the flat end comes down to this side, you can see it narrows out. And we'll clean this up just to get a quick look at it. But see this right here? This is one of the thicker flats that I've seen. I've pawed through about 6 or 7 briskets to get the one that had the best looking geometry and the thickest flat end. Some of these things down here are, I mean, like a 1/4 inch themselves with a little, just barely a little ribbon of fat on them. But this one, we've got about maybe 3/4 of an inch down there. This is going to cook, because it's smaller, differently at a different rate than this thick end over here. This is one of the better, thicker cuts. I'm gonna trim just a little bit off of this, but not much. Now, if this was really thin, I would take a little bit more off, but all I'm trying to do is make this end a little thicker. So by trimming the thin stuff off, I'll leave a thicker end so that this cooks at a similar rate to this end. What I don't want is this thing to bow up on me. Similar, I don't know if you've seen the chicken by the half video. I was talking about how the skin on the chicken by the half, you want to keep it tucked under, sometimes toothpick it, because if you don't, as it cooks, that skin will ride up in the heat. Similarly, when the heat gets on this chunk of meat right here, this thinner area, this thinner section of meat is gonna bow up too. So we're just gonna take and get in here with my knife. I'm just gonna kind of follow this and just round it off a little bit. Okay, just like that. And just by taking a little bit off, we've thickened up this edge over here. Okay. We've got a little piece up here that wants to be cleaned up. Okay, now we've taken care of the meat side. We'll come back and season this up later, but let's take a look at the fat cap side. The first thing I'm gonna start with is this big chunk of fat right in through here. This fat runs all the way through. It's that hard, gritty fat that it won't render out. So what I'm gonna do here is just start my knife up here. I'm gonna kind of get into it, and I'm gonna turn and come on out. Okay, we almost want to trim this down like we got some aerodynamics going. Now, we're not trying to prove Brulini's principle of flight or anything. Daniel and Isaac already took care of that a couple hundred years ago. What we want is good geometry so that the smoke flows evenly around this entire piece of meat. It does play a role. A little too greedy, but this will do perfectly every single time for your backyard smoke. All right, guys, well, that's it. That's trimming a brisket the easy way. That's how I like to do it, the easy way. But I want to give a special shout out to LMC Board Co. For designing and crafting this beautiful cutting board. As you can see, it handles a 17 1/4 pound brisket with the trimmings. I don't need an extra plate. I don't need anything else. This board has made all the difference in the world. My new obsession, boards. But give him a look. LMC Board Co. He's out of Southern California. Makes some great stuff. Watch the next video for seasoning and smoking. Gonna be awesome.